All right, guys. So as you know, or maybe you don't know, I've struggled with some shoulder injuries for the last, I want to say almost 10 years, where like I'm constantly having, if you can even tell, maybe in this video, but like my shoulder will pop out, and now it's actually getting a lot better to where like it's not coming out, it's not as loose as it used to be. So obviously I wanted to get into combat sports, so I started doing kickboxing where I had a shoulder subluxation, or where the shoulder dislocated, went back into place. Same thing happened with boxing where I was sparring. I did about 12 rounds. It was 4 minutes per round. And on the 12th round, my shoulder had popped out completely and it went back in. And I've struggled with both of my shoulders this way, but I decided, well, let me go to a doctor and see, what they have to say about it, and how I could treat it and hopefully not have to have surgery. So I went to a doctor here in Romania, and great doctor, probably one of the best doctors here. And the only thing he told me was, no, Martel, you need to go and have surgery. And obviously, if you know me, you know I'm a very stubborn person. So I was like, there's no way that I need to basically do surgery on the shoulder, be out for about 6 to, I want to say 8 months of nothing, and come back with maybe 70% of my shoulder healed, right? And I know a lot of you guys struggle with shoulder injuries as well. So I got into peptides, which is basically what my wife is doing right now, injecting these peptides. There's only two that I'm using right now specifically, and I'll explain kind of what those are. But I also wanted to be transparent here because I know there's a lot of people who, aren't transparent with what they're doing and aren't transparent with maybe the supplements they're taking, etc. Now, if you guys don't know what peptides are, I'll explain a little bit of what I've learned about it, and I'll read it off of what I know. So peptides are short chains of amino acids, right? So basically small proteins that act as biological messengers in the body. So they signal your body to repair, regenerate, or even optimize specific tissues, or systems such as muscles, tendons, or even the gut. Right? There are certain peptides that are good for the gut. There are even peptides that are good for your brain, which I'll also look into as well, which help you a lot. Now, they're very different from steroids. Now, if you guys, there's a lot of people who are like, oh, he's taking steroids. I'm not taking any steroids. This is not going to help me get bigger. This is not going to help me build more muscle. This has nothing to do with that. This is more of a healing stack that I'm doing, and I can show you guys. So the first one that my wife already just injected was BPC 157. The other one is TB 500. I get these from a company called Biopeptide, and it's a really, really good company in terms of like packaging it, making sure that it is third-party tested, all of that. But essentially, when you inject these peptides into you, they basically tell your body what to fix and how to fix it. So you're using your own body's mechanisms to be able to do this, but it generates it. Thank you so much. It generates everything a lot more properly. So the two healing peptides that I'm using are, again, BPC 157 and TB 500. So BPC 157, which essentially means body protection compound, that's what it stands for. Its origin is derived from a protein in your gastric juices, is what they say. So the function is it accelerates healing of tendons, ligaments, muscles, nerves, and gut tissue. Right? So the mechanism is that it increases blood flow and angiogenesis, which is new blood vessel formation, which then it also boosts collagen synthesis at the injury site area, which is why she injected it like on the shoulder area, like the back. Whenever my shoulder pops out, I always get the soreness towards the back. So that's like the best place to inject it. It also suppresses inflammation and protects the gut, which improves systemic recovery. A lot of people have gut issues, which is why they can't recover very quickly as well. And this helps that process. So the result that you get from taking this, so I'm taking this every single day. I'm taking about, I want to say 10 milliliters, 10 milliliters per day. And with those 10 milliliters, I do it for about 4 to 6 weeks, probably 4 weeks. And then I start to taper off into doing it maybe once a week just to maintain and see how things are going. But I'm on probably day what? Like 1 week? Mm-hmm. So we're about 1 week in, and I'm not going to lie, like my shoulder has definitely improved a lot. I don't have the clicking when I go up as much anymore. It doesn't feel like it's going to pop out of place if I go out of range of motion. But that's for BPC 157. Now TB 500, which is basically thymosin beta 4, It's a synthetic version of the natural peptide found in almost every cell, right? So the function is it focuses on systemic regeneration and cell migration. So it basically helps your body send repair crews into the injury site, right? So what it does is it increases actin production, which is the protein needed for cell movement and structure. Now, it also promotes new blood vessel growth and reduces inflammation. It also enhances elasticity and flexibility of the muscle and connective tissue, which I really need for this shoulder the most. I need the flexibility, I need the elasticity. So when I move it in different ranges, it doesn't pop out normally and it doesn't pop out as easily. It becomes a lot more stable. So the biggest real world result that you'll get from that is faster recovery from overuse injuries, which is mine, increased range of motion, right, which I can do a lot more now without having to worry about things popping out, and less scar tissue. So my biggest thing here is because it's popped out, it's probably popped out like 10 times. Started when I was playing basketball. Because it's popped out so much, I have a lot of scar tissue, which then makes it way easier to essentially like lose its place again, dislocate and relocate back in. And so because of that, that's why I decided to use both of these to start and see how things are going. And when you use them together, again, it's almost like you have a special ops team, right? Where you have the BPC 157, which is the commander, and it basically directs repair exactly where the injury is. The TB 500, it's like the logistics unit, so it delivers resources around that area to make sure that the recovery can happen a lot faster. So the way that I use them for the shoulder, again, is injecting both in the same site every day at the same time without eating first. So you have to do it on an empty stomach for these specifically. And obviously you keep the vials refrigerated once they are mixed, and you have to make sure that you are constantly injecting in that site. And now you can do some add-ons. You can do red light therapy. Obviously your vitamins, vitamin C, zinc, collagen, you can do all of that. You can do some rehab exercises, make sure that you're sleeping properly and you're having the right hydration. But within weeks 1 and 2, you should be starting to notice a lot more reduction in inflammation and pain, which is what I've been experiencing. Weeks 3 and 4, which I'm excited about, is improved mobility and strength return, which I'm starting to get a lot more now. And weeks 5 and 6 are basically deep tissue remodeling. So it feels like the injury never happened in the first place. So that is basically like a shortcut to surgery. And I wanted to see how it would happen in real time, because it's a very, very tough thing to go into surgery, go through that process and have to sit out, especially someone who's as active as I am. So that's why I wanted to get into like the whole biohacking peptide thing. And it's not FDA approved, of course. It's definitely not FDA approved. I don't think they're ever going to approve something like this because, one, they would make way less money because people would have surgery a lot less. 2, there are peptides for fat loss as well. I believe it's called retatrutide. And people would just not eat as much, which would then remove a lot of the money that they were able to get from people buying a bunch of groceries and overeating. So it goes against a lot of the economics behind why some of these things exist and why they wouldn't want something like this to be FDA approved and obviously mass commercialized. So it's very interesting that I'm going through this process. It works very, very well so far. I haven't really had any side effects whatsoever. Again, it's not a steroid. It's not going to make you look huge, and it has nothing to do with that. So if that's something that you're still considered natural if you take it, which was my biggest thing. I didn't want to lose the natty card. Maybe some people might still think it's not, but doesn't have any effect, doesn't give you any advantages over anybody at all. It just helps the recovery cycle. And for me right now, my biggest thing is recovering because I haven't been boxing for months, and getting back into it requires this shoulder to be fully healed so that I don't have that issue ever again, so I can continue doing it. So this was just a demonstration and also a crash course around what this is and what I'm taking specifically, and also transparency so you guys know. Again, I'm not going to be looking any bigger besides me training a lot more and eating a lot more. That's going to help, but there's not going to be any crazy noticeable differences of how I look from this. It's just going to help me, like this shoulder now, like kind of goes down a lot. Even if I take pictures, you can notice the difference, and the goal is for it to be straighter and to be more firm and to work. So again, if it's something you guys are interested in doing, do your own research on it for sure. Watch the videos you need to watch. It's not something that's super mainstream right now, but it probably will be over time. and make decisions based on what's best for you. I'm just telling you guys what I did. Again, disclaimer, I am not a medical professional, so don't take this as medical advice, but this is what I'm doing to myself, and it's actively working. So again, if you guys are interested in that, look into it. Also, if you guys are interested in working with me one-on-one for anything specific, whether it be your fitness, whether it be your business, getting into high-ticket sales, that's another thing as well. I have an entire mentorship around that where, you know, people can get in the best shape of their lives, and they can also start to make money online through selling high-ticket offers, through actually being able to make their first money online without showing their face. If you do want to show your face and you want to build a personal brand, that's something else as well. But for the people who are looking to get jacked and make a lot of money, I'm your guy. So hope this was valuable for you, and I will catch you on the next video.